Good evening, everyone, and I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. The weather here was really nice. It was great. Mid 80s, sunshine, not a drop of rain in sight. I'm not sure what it's going to be like throughout the rest of this coming week because I haven't even looked at the forecast. I've been too busy focusing on the bigger picture of what's going on around here. But um, I am going to have to turn in fairly early. I stayed up until like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. I ended up going back to Lingo around dinner time. And then I came back and finished up what I was working on for my video yesterday. And I ended up watching like five more Lingo episodes with my daughter. And I think we even, we squeezed in, I think, two Deal or No Deals. Like we ended up going to bed at like 12:30. It was crazy. Well, I stayed up till like 1 just because, when it's Saturday night, why not? But hopefully, most of you who are listening will be going back to work on Monday. I mean, I hope that's really the case. Hopefully, there's not too many people that are furloughed from their jobs. And speaking of jobs, I actually had to spend the entire day today straightening up my room real nice. It wasn't a disaster or anything. It was pretty well organized, but I had to rearrange to set up my work from home space because our the building that I work in might be closing. So, I mean, closing as in like trying to protect the building from infection. So there's nobody in our building that has been infected, and they've been warning us over and over that if there is somebody who is tested positive for coronavirus, that they are going to close the whole building and everybody's going to immediately be sent home. And since I work for a contracted company for the hospital network that I work for throughout the state, it's actually a national hospital network, but we service all the hospitals in the state of Florida for them. But um, so if there is that sort of a circumstance that happens in our building, the umbrella company that we use, their building, I think that they definitely provide services to the hospital that we also work for, but they actually own the building. Their name is on it. So we just actually, I guess we technically just rent space in there. We rent cubicle space out of there. Um, so basically we just have to follow their rules more or less. And so as a precautionary measure, everybody at my workplace, all of our employees, we are trying to fast track our work from home because we actually started our work from home initiative back in like November. That's when we started having meetings about it, and we got a checklist of what you need to have at your home, things like that. And I think it was in the middle of January, we sent our first five workers to work from home as kind of a beta testing phase for us. And they were performing really well. Everything was working out perfectly fine. Obviously, veterans, because if they have any issues or anything, they have to kind of figure things out just in case management isn't readily available for them via phone or text messaging or chat, whatever. We use Microsoft Teams, but we can also directly call them if we have any issues working from home. So things have been running smooth for them. We rolled out the next five just this week. So we're trying to do the rollout as quickly as possible. I think they said next week we're going to roll out five more, which is, I think, 4 times faster, give or take a bit, than the last rollout we did in between. So it's happening really quick. And I'm actually supposed to be staying in the building. If there was no coronavirus going on, no COVID-19 or anything, it was expected for me to continue to work in the building because just the duties that I do for my job, it requires me to be in the facility. So they're trying to take these measures to try to get me working at home, and they've actually lifted a large part of my in-house responsibility, and they have provided me with the ability to work from home by moving some things around. And it actually involved every hospital that we are contracted to work for. So that was really good news for me. So they're trying to make it so that every single one of us can go and work from home at a moment's notice if possible. So for Sunday today, I had to rearrange my room. I had to try to expand the amount of open space that I have, which I successfully did actually really well. And I've got this nice big table that I bought a few weeks ago because I knew about work from home. I knew I was going to inevitably get there anyway. So back in January, I bought a nice big table. I kind of wanted to use it for podcasting, but it sounds like it might be a work from home computer. But that's still okay. I'll still be able to do everything that I want to do. I think that I just might have to rearrange my table if I want to start my new podcast, which is the Spathon Express. It's still not in the immediate future. I think the light is still at the end of the tunnel. Again, I'm waiting on that camera, but I just cannot justify spending roughly $75 on a camera when I could use that same amount of money to buy food. I mean, I do have a decent amount of food. Like I think I've said in other previous videos, I have enough for a couple of months, I think, but it's not organic by any means at all. I mean, I'm talking Aldi food from the Aldi store. That includes like cans of 50-cent vegetables and ramen noodles and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm going to be living the high life for 2 months. I mean, it's going to be like strict rationing, scraping by the best I can just to not have to go to the store kind of situation that I'm in right now. But still, I still want to get the podcast going. I don't know. I thought about using my camera phone to record my face while I do it. The podcast, that is the Spathon Express, but I don't think I'm ready for it. I think this coronavirus thing is way more important right now, and that's something that I personally want to focus on way more than the format that I want to do with the Spathon Express. So I think I'm going to do this for a while until things start to simmer down a little bit. So I'm going to put that project on hold, even though I did a lot of work to. I made intros for it, and I made a bunch of like bumper videos and stuff like that. So and I looked for different types of music that I can use that is not copyrighted, and there's just a lot of legwork. I even put together a website for it. So I'm just gonna have to hold off on that for a while and just continue doing this. This is only on YouTube. I'm not going to make a website or anything for this this pandemic isolation series that I'm doing. Which, by the way, if things get crazier around where I live, if the National Guard ends up moving in, I'm going to have to conclude the isolation series and have to upgrade it to I don't know, pandemic quarantine or pandemic, whatever the mood feels like in my area. But right now it's not that bad. I think in the state of Florida we're definitely still under 1,000, I believe, but I think that we have crossed the 800 line of 800 people that have been tested positive for coronavirus. So yeah, so work from home. I mean, it's crazy. I had to go out and buy a fire extinguisher yesterday. I was so pissed that I had to do that because I don't want to go into any public facility at all. I went, okay, so we have, it's literally a neighborhood Ace Hardware. I mean, like where it is right now. I mean, it's actually kind of funny because of how close to the ocean we are, to the Gulf. And this Ace Hardware, it's next to a Publix grocery store, and it's also next to a Dollar Tree, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant. I think there's like a freestanding restaurant there. It's like Applebee's kind of thing. It's not them, but it's something like that. So it's like a mini plaza kind of area, but it's completely surrounded by houses and neighborhoods and stuff. It's just really bizarre. But nevertheless, there is an Ace Hardware there just by sheer chance. And it was like not even 5 minutes away from where I live, so that was pretty convenient. But so I did have to drop $20 on a fire extinguisher that, knock on wood, I hope I never ever have to use. I was kind of pissed that I had to buy one because that's $20, and with the amount of money I make, $20 goes a long way. I mean, that fills up my gas tank and then a little something, because my little 1999 car has only a 10-gallon gas tank. But I actually haven't been out. I mean, I went out yesterday to run to Ace Hardware, but I was tunnel vision, laser light focus. I mean, this is crazy. So I don't believe that I went into detail with this with the last video that I did last night, because I was kind of in a hurry because my daughter was here. We were having dinner together, so I felt that I had to still push something out there onto YouTube. So I mean, if I did talk about this, forgive me. Last night was just kind of a really quick, fast whirlwind kind of episode that I did, but yeah, I went out to Ace Hardware. I brought aerosol disinfectant spray for my shoes. I mean, I did, I tried to do top-notch preparation. So I put on a long sleeve shirt. I put on some pajama pants, and I went out there. And I was only in there for like maybe 3 minutes. So I think this was kind of overblown, because there were literally 3 cars in this small parking lot. So there were just a few customers. Maybe there was only one other customer in there besides me, and the other 2 cars were just employees. But nevertheless, I took all those precautions. I went in there. The fire extinguisher, it cost like $21.35 or something like that. So I gave him $22 in cash. So I only got change back. I kept it in my hand, left the building with the sanitary wipe in my hand that was clutching or was hanging on to the fire extinguisher box, walked out to my car, I had my trunk popped. I popped it before I even left my car to go into the store. This is how crazy I got. So when I went out to my car, I lifted open the trunk with my elbow, and in my trunk I had a pre-opened garbage bag, just your standard white garbage bag that I had just kind of like flattened and opened, just ready for me to dump my clothes into. So the first thing I did, I chucked the change like toward the back of my trunk, just so I know not to touch it for at least a few days in case there's anything on it. And I did the same with the receipt that was in my hand too. I just chucked it back there somewhere in the trunk. I'm not going to touch it for probably weeks. Yeah, and then I just turned my clothes inside out, dropped them in the bag, tied it really tight, and I took the aerosol spray and I sprayed the opening of the bag. Like, I mean, I squeezed it really tight, but you know, virus, you know, I don't know what they are, organisms, I guess you might call them, cells or whatever. They're microscopic, so I sprayed that disinfectant around the opening of like what would be the opening of the bag if I were to open it, and then I sprayed my shoes and used the sanitizer wipe around my hands, and I grabbed another one out of the container, and I just wiped my hair. I don't know if that worked or not, but I figured it's better than not even trying at all. And yeah, I had my windows down driving home. Got home as soon as I went in, and like I kicked my shoes off right before I came inside, and yeah, and then I went to the sink, washed up on my arms, got past my elbows all the way up to almost my shoulders with soap, and did the same with my face. I even got some soap in my eyes too. That kind of sucked, but yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I was just trying everything I could possibly do to not get whatever could be in, well, coronavirus obviously, but yeah, it was very brief, very fast. I was expecting to have like a long line that I have to stand in and just wait and wait, and God knows what's like getting attached to me. I mean, God knows a coronavirus. You know, I don't want coronavirus attaching to me in any part of my body. So, but there was nobody in line. Like the guy was waiting. I mean, he was actually just kind of standing there greeting people. And I walked in. I'm like, awesome, name tag. Where are the fire extinguishers? Well, I was nice. I was like, do you know where the fire extinguishers are by any chance? He's like, oh, fire extinguishers. Yeah, I need one. I need a fire extinguisher. And he said, yeah, I believe they're right here. And he just like walked, and I followed him, and I was like paranoid. Like, God damn it. I hope he doesn't have coronavirus that he's like breathing out because I'm breathing in, walking behind him kind of thing. But he showed me where they were. I grabbed it, basically followed him up to the front. I'm like, that's all I need. And he just rang me up, and I was out the door. Like maybe 3 minutes at the most. It was really quick. So that was my Saturday crazy experience that I had. So anyway, but my mom, she has asthma, she has lung issues, so you know I have to take those precautions to make sure I don't bring anything in here, because I'll probably be okay. My daughter will probably be okay, but you know that's not who I'm primarily worried about. So yeah, so that was Saturday, and yeah, and today just work from home. I had to get make sure that my smoke detector in my room worked because they required that. The way that I placed my desk, they say that you have to have like an exit to the outdoors in like immediate vicinity to where your workstation is, and just by sheer chance, my room, the back door is right on the other side of the hallway from my room, so everything just worked out perfectly as far as positioning my workstation, which is in my bedroom. And they say that you're not supposed to put it in your bedroom, but our director has been very clear with us. They're like, look, I mean, especially in this situation, but even in a normal situation, if there is no virus going around, we would still let that slide. I mean, that's not a big deal. We're just saying that, you know, we don't want you to, you know, be psychologically, or not psychologically, but feel like you're physically imprisoned, like you're working full time in the same room that you sleep in every single night. You know, you don't want to be in this little tiny space. I mean, relatively tiny. I guess it depends on how big your room is, but still, even if it's a large room, you're still in the same space for, I don't know, like 20 hours a day or something like that. So I understand what they mean, that you just want to change your environment, even if it's to a different part of your house. But this is the only spot I got, and my room it's a pretty simple room. I mean, I got a window, so that's kind of cool. doesn't bother me at all. I've got, actually, believe it or not, I've got tons of band pictures from the 1990s, like heavy metal bands and alternative music, grunge music. Just to look at a few, I got Cold Chamber, Static X, Metallica, of course, Korn, Limp Bizkit. Let's see, got Slipknot, Kiss. I mean, that's not really 90s, but yeah, just a whole bunch of these pictures. It's a big collage that I put together when I was in high school, and I covered all my walls with them. I had like 700 different pictures. It was this mega collage around my room, and I cut them out of a Circus magazine. It was like a heavy metal magazine back in the 90s. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but yeah. So it's not all the way around my room, but I've salvaged enough since my teen years that I have them plastered over one part of my wall. But I kind of put them on like poster board essentially. I kind of collaged a bunch of poster boards, and it's kind of like tiling. It's like putting bricks on my wall, kind of, or tiles or whatever. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm ready for work from home. I feel very fortunate to have that opportunity. If I'm stuck having to go to work from home, I mean, being stuck working from home is certainly a million times better than having to deal with what millions of other people are unfortunately going to have to go through. So, and to that, I'm going to talk about something here in just a moment to that effect. But other than that, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yes. If anybody is listening to this, especially I doubt you'll live in my area because my view numbers are like on average, like easily less than 10 per video. So I seriously doubt anybody who's listening to this is going to be in my area. But if you live anywhere in the country, and if you've been shopping at at a store, or it doesn't even matter if it's a national retailer at all. If you're shopping at your local grocery store, how is orange juice looking there? How does that look? Is that always gone? I know milk is going to be gone, bread's going to be gone, water, eggs, meat. I know a lot of the meats are gone. Um, but as far as orange juice, how's the juice looking? Orange juice, pineapple juice, even like concentrate. If you buy concentrate, I bought like 10 cans of concentrate, but seriously, I drink like in less than 2 days, I'll go through a can of orange juice concentrate. I mean, that's how much orange juice I drink. But yeah, I'm like packed to the gills with vitamin C. But yeah, so I was just curious. I haven't been to Publix since let's see, let me check the date here. It was on the let's see, it would have been the 13th. That was when I last went to a grocery store. So yeah, so I don't know what things are like right now, as far as supplies in grocery stores and things like that. But I think I'm going to take that plunge again tomorrow because my mom actually needs allergy medicine because she also has allergies, which combined with asthma can be like nightmarish probably. But yeah, so I'm gonna go and pick up some allergy medication from her at the pharmacy at our local grocery store. So while I'm there, I figured if I'm already taking the risk and I'm gonna have to like turn another set of clothes inside out and bag them for a few days, I might as well just grab some other essentials, um, things that I didn't grab that are non-perishable. So orange juice. I was just curious, orange juice. So and oh yeah, my hair. I can't get my hair cut this week, and I'm due for my haircut. I was actually due for it last weekend. So my hair is getting crazy long, and I already talked about this in the last video, but I was going to have either my mom cut it or I was going to try to cut it this weekend, but I didn't get around to it because this whole work from home initiative getting set up for the weekend, I kind of procrastinated because I don't have my daughter today. I had her yesterday because like I have her 50%, her mom has her 50%, but like we alternate like throughout the week, even through weekdays and stuff. So very complicated process, but it works. But our visitation schedule. But today I don't have her. She got picked up at 8:30 in the morning, so I didn't want to do work from home stuff all day yesterday when she was here. So I just figured I'd do it today, but it took way longer than I thought. So couldn't get my hair cut. So I might end up having to bust out those clippers tomorrow, or maybe the day after, because tomorrow I'm going to attempt to do my grocery store run, which I'm going to try to do at the tail end. It makes me nervous because if I go at the end of the day, that's probably when the coronavirus exposure, if any, is going to be at its maximum. I mean, because Publix is closing at 8 o'clock, and the reason they're doing that is so they can disinfect the store overnight and still restock the shelves. So I'm just worried that if I get there at that time, it's going to be like maximum exposure, but I can't go there really early in the morning because I have to be at work by 7:30. So I can't do that. So um, yeah, but hopefully I'll end up working from home pretty soon. So theoretically, like again, if I want to take that giant risk of going out into public, like they're strongly advising nobody to do, but if I absolutely have to, and if I have to burn through another set of clothes that I have to turn inside out and bag away, um, I guess if I was crunched for time, but if I had to go get something, if it was a desperate thing that I knew was there, I mean, if I'm working from home, my Publix is 5 minutes. Like I think it even might be 4 minutes away. So I could do that during my lunch break if I really wanted to. But yeah, so whatever. Yeah, I think that's all I have for me. So I guess I'll go ahead and get right into this. There was something that I wanted to bring up, and that was pertaining to those who were furloughed from their jobs, those who may have been laid off for the short term or permanently. If you can't find any work anywhere, there is a really good article that I have coming up. It might be one of my first ones that I'll be talking about. But like I have done in the last episode, I'm going to bring up my notepad here and I'm going to talk about a few things. But first, let me just throw this stuff down just so I can focus on one thing at a time. We are at day 9 of the pandemic. So it's been 9 days since the national emergency has been declared. And it feels like it's been way longer than that. I can't believe it's only been 9 days. So it's weird with so much happening. It just feels like time is running slow because at least for me, I'm having to consume so much information day by day because while I'm working throughout the day, that's one thing working. But with my job, if you get comfortable enough with your job, the days can almost run together, really. Like it's just so repetitive, kind of. But but on top of that, whenever I have my 15-minute break or if I take my lunch break, I'm spending most of it just checking out what's going on in the news. So that way I can get a head start on that when I get home and in anticipation of doing these videos. So, but yeah, 9 days, man. It feels like it's been a month already. I can't believe it's only been 9 days. So anyway, let me go ahead. I'm going to take a quick break. I just noticed that my laundry had just turned off. Hopefully that wasn't in the background. I was doing my very last load of laundry for the weekend. So I will take just a couple of minutes and I will be right back. But for you, I'll be back in like what? Something like 3, 2, 1. And I'm back just like that. It was very quick, right? Super quick. Maybe if you look down at the clock, you might have noticed a minute may have gotten shaved off, maybe 2. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to have to fast track this a little bit because I just realized when I opened the fridge just a second ago, um, because my stomach started growling a little bit, so I figured I would just throw the fridge open real quick to see if there's anything in there. And my eyes instantly met with that spaghetti sauce that I made yesterday. So it's been in there soaking for 24 hours with the ground beef, and I think it's perfect right now. So yeah, I got some spaghetti to eat tonight. Spaghetti with meat. So like legit ground beef, pan fried. Oh yeah. So yeah, so I got some eating to do here in a little bit. So yeah, so I'll try to move quick with this. I'll move as quick as I can. Hopefully, I won't go off in any rants for my sake. I mean, it might. I don't know if you find any interest listening to my video or watching them, listening, whatever it is you do. But anyway, yeah, I didn't change my wallpaper. Changing my room around, work from home. I just didn't have time today, so maybe I'll get around to it tomorrow. But I did do this. Check this out. I got super bored, and this was this was earlier this morning before I got started. And this actually took me like the better part of an hour to do. I figured out how to customize Google. That's pretty cool. So yeah, actually, yeah, if you go to this website here, like themebeta.com/Chrome theme creator online, you can upload your own image, and it's like a whole interactive, like create your whole theme for Chrome. I mean, what the hell? That's amazing. That's awesome. Because what was it, like 5 or 6 years ago, you used to be able to plaster a picture on the back of the Google, like the Google homepage, but then they got rid of it. But now they've got this whole interactive thing where you can even change the color of your text and all this. So like the yellow here, I could customize whatever color that was. Even this image on the back of the tabs I was able to upload and use for my theme. So that was pretty awesome. So yeah, it was kind of cool. And I know I'm ranting already. I know. But yeah, so I actually did waste a little bit of time this morning, but I was tired. I was wanting my coffee, and yeah, so I was just trying to wake up. So Yeah, well, what I did, I opened up Google because I was going to check my email, and I'm not going to show it, but I cleaned out my email. I had like 1,000 messages that was all junk mail, so it took me like 5 minutes to clear all that out. But as I was clicking delete, 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 100 here, 100 there, I was thinking, you know what? I remember that picture I had on the on Google, not this one, the one that I had on here. It was a picture of palm trees that I took when I was at Busch Gardens, like at least 10 years ago. But yeah, I don't know, just that random thought just hit my head, and I was thinking, okay, let's see if I can figure this out, see if I can customize Google a little bit. So yeah, it's pretty badass, really. I mean, it's kind of cool. Just put a picture back here, obviously, and then kind of throw this picture here, and kind of change. Like I was able to customize this color of these, and you can actually make those a different color. I just went with white. Like you can make these one color and then make this a different color, the new tab one. And then this I made like a I don't know, like a pale bluish, midnight bluish, maybe almost purplish, grayish blue kind of. Same with this one. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But so yeah, there was a little bit of time I did waste today. So anyway, let me go ahead and get straight into this. Yeah, point being, I didn't change this. So anyway, so let's see, going on. Oh, and by the way, I know, sorry, but when I start showing you the articles, I did make it a point at least to have the first few articles be uplifting articles, because it just seems like it's always doom and gloom, and always seems like it's just the worst thing ever that's going on, which it's a very bad thing. I mean, we haven't dealt with something like this in the modern era. I mean, come on, let's be real. 1918 that was like a whole different world, really, compared to where we're living now. And the lifestyle and the just our way of life that we have. This thing it's a first of its kind of situation that we're in. So, but yeah, I did make it a point. So for the first few articles that I go through on here, they're going to be on a positive note. So that should be at least a good thing, hopefully. But then I'll have the more doom and gloom kind of news. Hopefully it's not, I don't think it's too dramatic. I always try to stick to factual stuff and not dramatic stuff. So hopefully I'm doing a good job at that. But so yeah, I already covered that. Believe it or not, we're barely into a week of this. Yeah, the car's driving by my house. What the hell's up with that? I mean, as I was preparing for work from home, then I did take a couple hours to put together some articles. I started paying attention because I opened up my window because it was too dark in my room after a while. So I opened up my blinds, and I just keep noticing these cars just driving by. I'm like, aren't we supposed to be self-quarantining ourselves here? Aren't churches closed and everything's closed right now? Where are these people going? The beaches are even closed. Everything's closed here. And as I'm looking out the window, I literally just saw one car and then another car and then another car. Now, I do live relatively in a neighborhood road. So if you can imagine, like there's one neighborhood that has, I don't know, like a few hundred houses, and then there's like another neighborhood with a few hundred houses. Like if there's like, I don't know, 7, 8 neighborhoods like that, and then there's a road that kind of just drives through like the middle part of those. That's kind of the road I live on. I mean, I would say on average, we might, on a normal day, this time last year, at this time, I might see like maybe 8 to 10 cars a minute. So it's like one lane each way kind of thing. It's a county road, so whatever. Anyway, it's usually not crowded, and it's definitely a lot lighter than it usually is. But still, there's people out. It's crazy. I don't understand where in the hell they are going. Probably to stupid house parties. They're probably a bunch of millennials and Gen Zers driving around trying to get to the next house party because the bars are closed and everything else is closed. It's freaking ridiculous. So okay, let me do this real quick. I mean, this is something that's just my opinion. So um, so the government, it's supposed to be working on up to a $2 trillion package. They said today that it's going to be around maybe 1.6 trillion. Right now, the Senate is convening. They're trying to get this thing passed. Nancy Pelosi is stonewalling them. Chuck Schumer is doing the same thing. Apparently, there's stuff the Democrats want to add to it that the Republicans aren't agreeing with. And I can already imagine what that is. I mean, I'm sure that the Democrats are trying to add in like long-term stuff, like like because the Democrats are claiming they don't want a lot of this money to go to businesses because like they're saying, oh, big corporate America, they don't need all this free money. So they're politicizing this, and what they're saying, like, instead, give more money to the individual Americans. But it's not as simple as that. It's not like what they're trying to do, and this is just my opinion, but they're trying to add into the bill a more long-term solution. If you follow the the campaign trail for the presidency on the Democrat side, if you paid attention to Andrew Yang, or if you followed him, or if you were even a fan of Andrew Yang, he had that universal basic income thing that he was doing. Like, everybody should get $1,000 a month, no matter what, whether if you're working or not. Like, if you're an American citizen and if you're at X age, like if you're 18 years old and older, you should get $1,000 a month. That's it, no matter what. It's an absolutely ridiculous plan. I won't even get into that because I don't have the time for it. But trust me, it is impossible for that to work. Inflation would get out of control. The government cannot afford that. I could crunch the numbers. Might take me a few minutes, but yeah, if you average that out across the board for hundreds of millions of Americans, I don't know, like 200 million Americans, give or take. But that is a lot of money. It's unaffordable. It's impossible. It's not possible. I mean, our GDP is, I think, $24 trillion a year. And if you gave universal basic income $1,000 a month to every single American, that would be like $5 or $6 trillion or something like that. Completely unrealistic, impossibly realistic. It's not. I mean, the entire government's budget, which I just learned yesterday, is $5 trillion a year. So, you know, it's absolutely insane and stupid and ridiculous. But I think what the Democrats are trying to do, they're trying to make this a more long-term thing. They're trying to take a more leftist approach to this bill, thinking that, well, we're in this dire situation. We could try to throw some of this leftist stuff that we were trying to put out there on the campaign trail over the last months. Not orange man bad stuff, but more like more left wing kind of stuff, like more socialist kind of stuff. So anyway, way too political. I don't want to talk about that at all. I don't even know why I brought that up, but I mean, I know why, but I shouldn't have gone that far. It's ridiculous. It's just nonsense. But anyway, they're working on the bill right now. They haven't got it passed yet. They're going to try to get it passed sometime tonight. Hopefully they will. The bottom line is that people need money. Even if it's $1,200, it's better than nothing. People need something because there's millions of people that are not going to work tomorrow. And tomorrow's Monday morning. It's the beginning of the work week, and millions of people won't be able to go. They're going to have to get something. And the longer that they stonewall for stupid political reasons, this nonsense on both sides, Democrats and Republicans. Trust me, I there's plenty that I hate about Republicans too. Again, I won't even go there. I'm not going to go into it, but there is. I mean, I'll save that for another day. I mean, they're pansies. There's a lot of stuff that they don't have the guts to do. They're too lazy to get into the nitty gritty of the tech situation that's going on with freedom of speech and the shadow banning on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, I mean, and all that stuff. Like, the Republicans just don't care about technology, which in a First Amendment perspective is absolutely essential, because Republicans are more for First Amendment, more constitutionally oriented. Like we stand for the Constitution no matter what. And then on the other side, they've kind of taken a different approach. But anyway, so getting into this, so companies who are paying workers for no work, they're going to end up draining money from the company. That's a given. That's obvious. And it's going to put the earnings in the red for that company. And stockholders will end up bailing, because if a company is doing worse and worse, and if there's stock in that company, why are you going to keep holding stock in a company that keeps losing money? And if you're paying employees for not working, and if they're not working for the company, it's going to lose money. Pure, plain and simple. If they are working, they're going to generate money for you, because work translates into money. Work equals money. It doesn't matter if you're building something, if you're typing on a keyboard, if you're answering phone calls, whatever it is you're doing, you are making money for that company. So if there's any company that's offering money to employees out there, any kind of money to their employees, they have got to find any way at possible to get them working somehow. No matter what it might be, they've got to get them working. And I've pitched this several times before, and I'm actually given this idea out for people who are furloughed, maybe the younger employees, people that are maybe in their 20s or something like that, people who could probably more naturally pick up this idea. And this would be an idea of delivery. I've mentioned this before. Your local bookstore, they don't have. They cannot have people going into their building to go shopping, because we have a no contact thing going on. You can't be within 6 feet of people. 10 people or more can't be in the same room. Things like that. But what you can do, you can can contact retail stores and you can offer them your personal services to deliver whatever it is that comes in. So you can walk into some mom and pop shop and say, hey, you might have somebody that's already doing this, but look, I'll deliver, anything that you might get in through the internet. Or if somebody calls you and says, hey, are you delivering anything? You can now say, yes, I'll deliver it for you. And better yet, what I'll do, and I mentioned this here, let me just read this next part here. So let's say a local bookstore sells online and they'll offer a delivery anywhere within a 5-mile radius. Okay. So they can use employees to deliver, um, or they could also offer a delivery on their website to people who needs money. So basically what that means is that like they can use their employees who they're already hiring. So if you're working for a mom and pop business right now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You can go to your manager, you can go to the owner and you can say, look, I've got a car, I've got a license, assuming that you do, and we're selling such and such product. Well, how about we just take phone calls from people and put it out there on the website, and just anybody who calls in and asks for a delivery, I am on it. Like ask them, like, I know I can't go in there, but is there any way that I can get this item? Then you can say that, yes, my employee here has a vehicle and they've been taking deliveries lately. So yeah, it's a $10 delivery fee. Is that okay? And there you go. $10. And if it's within a 5-mile radius, it's going to be worth it, especially because gas is going down and down and down right now. Not only because the United States purchased 20%, if I read this right, like up to 20% of the oil reserve that that Saudi Arabia had pumped up, or that they had on stock or something. Like there was something about 20% with Saudi Arabia. It was a ton of oil, and the United States picked that up like about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that drove down the price of gas right there. But what's driving it down way more is the fact that nobody's going anywhere. Everybody's quarantining. So if you charge $10 to deliver something within a 5-mile radius, the only thing that it's really going to be hurting is the mileage on your car. I mean, as far as gas, you're not really taking a hit with that at all. So, I mean, I think this is a really good idea, people. I mean, if you're looking for something to do, even if you make like $20 for the day, it's better than nothing. Plus, when you're delivering something, you're taking an item from one human being who is your boss or the person that works at this business that you're picking up this item from, and you're going to be delivering it to another human being. So there's 2 people there that you're going to have contact with. That's really easy to keep yourself sanitized, keep everything you touch sanitized during that transaction with only 2 people. I mean, I just think it's a great idea. That's just in my opinion, but anyway, I have a little bit more to say about this. So let's say this. Let me just stick with the bookstore. Let's say that you don't work for them. Let's say you're offering them your services for delivery. Now just say, for example, that somebody calls the bookstore and says, hey, I want to order these 3 books, which ends up coming up to $50. Now, the person who owns the bookstore, they say, yeah, there's somebody who called here and they said that they'd be willing to make deliveries for us. So yeah, $50. That's like we decided that's going to be the minimum, or maybe there is no minimum, and no matter what it is, even if they want a $5 book, it's still going to be a $10 delivery fee. I mean, you can establish that for yourself. So they would just say, yeah, you can order whatever you want. I'll pick them off the shelves and I'll make sure this person that I'm working with will get it delivered to you for $10. You have to pay a $10 delivery fee when he shows up. It's just a $10 cash delivery fee. And so, and that could all be posted online. So what happens is that you, the driver, would go up to the store and let you know, like, hey, I'm delivering, I'm here to pick up the item to deliver it to the customer. And then you, the delivery driver, gives the person, the owner of the bookstore, $50. You pay for that item up front. Those 3 books that they want, you're going to give him your money for those 3 books. Then once you pick up those 3 books, you go and you drive over to the customer. And in turn, you collect $60 from them because you're charging the $10 delivery fee. So that minimizes the amount of people that you have to interact with, and everybody wins. The only thing you need up front is $50. So all you're doing, you're just driving over to a store down the street. You're picking up something pretty simple, put it in your car, and you drive down the street. Then you deliver it to that place, maybe spend 15 minutes worth doing so, and boom, you just got $10. And if you can do that 3-4 transactions an hour, you could be making more money than you were making doing whatever job you were doing before. You can potentially make 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour, really. But anyway, that was just an idea that I had. I hope that was a good idea. I mean, to me, it sounds perfect, especially when you can do things like, hold on, I don't know if I want to get in all this. Uh, let's see. I'll just read this as closely as I can without getting into the nitty gritty. But anyone who is creative and is out of work, I'm telling you, here is a problem. Your income has stopped. For like, if your income has stopped, I worded it wrong. I apologize. Um, you do have bills to pay. There are people who are stuck inside. Local businesses are hurting and they need to sell their inventory. So you can figure out how you can get stuff from mom and pop shops to the locals around your neighborhood. So you can reach out to local stores. It could be anything. It could be a hardware store. It could be a restaurant. Any place where they just sell stuff, antique shop, whatever it is. And what you can do when you stop by that store, you can give them your phone number and address and say that you are trying to contact local businesses to offer your services as a delivery driver. So, and you can tell them that, look, for me, it's $10 a delivery. Um, and if somebody else is offering less, I will be willing to undercut that because I'm sure other people are going to come up with this. I promise you. I'm sure it's already happening like crazy. But I haven't heard it yet. I haven't read it in the news yet, so I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe somebody can get this early, because I'm slated to work from home. I mean, if I had lost my job because I work for hospitals, so I mean, not to say that my job is fully protected because it's no job is fully protected, um, but like I'm in a position right now where I would be better suited sticking with the company that I'm with now than just taking the risk of doing this. But if you're out of work, this is perfect for you. So let me see. Yeah, if they get a okay, so yeah, like you would charge the customer $10. Then then all they would have to do, or all the business would have to do would be for customers to call the business to let them know. Oh wait, hold on. So I will ask the customer to call. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, so you pick up the item from the store. You pay them 50 to pick up the items. Then you go to the customer's house, and when you go to deliver it, and you get the $60 from them, you can say, "Hey, by the way, can you send the business like a quick text? Can you just let them know real quick that you got your order or whatever?" I mean, that was just an offhand idea. I mean, I'm sure that could be worked out somehow, like some sort of a confirmation that it was delivered. But this could help build a quick trust between you and your local businesses. And if you hit at that right now, then it could spread quickly, and then you could get your buddies in. Like if you're too busy, like if you nailed three local places, like if you nailed like your local hardware store, your local restaurant, and then your local bookstore, and you're and like those three businesses all put together are calling you too much because people are so bored at home, they're just hitting you with all these orders. You can reach out to your friends, reach out to them and say, hey guys, look, I've got this thing going. I'm too busy to handle this. You all are out of work too. So, do you want to make money? Yes, obviously. Okay, so let's make some money. All right. So the deal is that it costs like for every delivery that you make for these companies, I'm getting all these calls for, I'm going to pay you $8 for. Like you get $8 a delivery. That's it. I mean, there you go, $8. Now you're making $2 per delivery off of your friends. They're still loving it because they're still making 3, 4 deliveries an hour. They're still making 30, $40 an hour. Or you can just not profit from it whatsoever. Just offer that not for profit service to your friends and eventually to others who are furloughed in the community. That would be the best thing to do in this time right now for sure, especially with the pandemic going on. Don't try to profit from that. I mean, honestly, that is a bad idea. I just kind of randomly threw that out as like a good business idea to help you kind of grow from the situation. But no, no, no. That actually, yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. Don't do that. That's not good. Instead, yeah, just get the word out. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your, just whoever, relatives or friends of relatives, anybody. If you're able to get something like this off the ground, because delivery right now is going to be absolutely insane. You think it was insane before with Amazon delivery to your door within 24 hours, or being able to order off Walmart.com as much as you want, free 2-day delivery as long as it's over $35. You don't have to pay a membership fee. Um, And you think that delivery fees were expensive if you wanted to order, like, I don't know, Applebee's. I'm not saying that they do this at all, because I'm sure they don't, but like, if Applebee's like has a delivery driver that brings the food to your house before all this happened, I mean, you think that was expensive before, or you think it was cheap before, rather, it's going to get more and more and more competitive. I'm sure that over the next couple of weeks, hopefully not couple of months, but at least the next couple of weeks probably, you're going to see an explosion of delivery opportunities. It's supply and demand, folks. That's capitalism. That's why capitalism works. Whenever there is an issue at hand, like this virus going on, there are alcohol companies. Now, yes, people will probably buy plenty of alcohol in spite of what's going on, but they think they could do a lot of good by making hand sanitizer, because, ensuring that more people survive is more important than getting people drunk. I mean, obviously. So, that's what makes capitalism work so well, is that people can change their business model overnight if they know how to do it, if they're good enough. And if you're furloughed and if you can't work, you can take this initiative and go out and get that money. Get it. Right now, it's going to be delivery. I'm telling you, everybody's stuck at home. Those who are not stuck at home are absolute jerks, because the ones who are not staying at home are the ones that are spreading this everywhere. So every day you see these numbers climb, it's most likely because there's a lot of jerks around in your area and all over the country who just don't give a crap, and they're just spreading this thing around everywhere because they will not stay at home. So anyway, let's see. So let's see. Yeah, that's just a little bit more information. There's just a couple of tips I had, like you could post ads on Craigslist offering your services. If you want to get some more attention, if you're not like, if you can't go door to door, business to business kind of thing, you could use Nextdoor.com. Get the word out in your local neighborhood. Use Facebook, social media. If you have a printer at home, you can use rubber bands and a stapler. You staple a rubber band to the corner of your flyer and print out flyers and wrap them around doorknobs and stuff. Just be careful if you touch a doorknob. But yeah, so anyway, getting to the real news now that I've wasted God knows how much time. The United States today has hit number 3 for the most infected country worldwide, and that actually happened for the first time last night. And Spain actually overtook the United States as number 3 this morning, Sunday morning. And then later in the afternoon, well, in the early afternoon, the United States returned to the number 3 spot. And to be honest with you, just the way that the numbers are coming in, the United States is probably not going to get overtaken by Spain again. I think we're just going to continue to climb, and given our ability to just go wherever we want, when we want. I mean, we're a free country. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want, right? Unless there's martial law, of course. I mean, there are certain things, like there are stay-at-home, orders that are being ordered by governors in different states that could fine you. So, but nobody should be even trying to have to get the governors to even do that. You should be doing that anyway. But just because it's a free country, there's a lot of jerks out there. There's a lot of people who only think of themselves, and they're like, well, I'm only 25 years old. Who cares? And they'll end up going out doing whatever, spreading the virus around, and it's just going to drive up numbers. So I don't think it's going to go down. It's just going to keep going up for a while until we can get everybody under control, as far as like stop going out, and let's hunker down for a couple of weeks and let this thing just kill itself off indoors without spreading it to other people. So, let's see. We were number 5 yesterday. That is true. Yes, yesterday on Saturday, we were number 5. We went from number 5 to number 4 to number 3. Then we dropped back to number 4, and now we're number 3 again. So, and again, it doesn't mean that our rate of infection is dropping, since we dropped from number 3 to number 4, even though we're back to number 3. I mean, that proves my point. It means that Spain had revealed at that time, because I wrote this before we jumped back to number 3 again. It doesn't mean that our rate is dropping. Rather, Spain revealed a higher number of tests than the U.S. since last night. Last night being Saturday night, and this just shows you the need to self-isolate. So I said that last night that Google launched the COVID website after President Trump announced it last week. Google apparently dropped the ball a little bit, at the very least, because the president said Google was using 1,000 engineers to develop this site where you can go to. And if you go to this site, like the pitch that the president gave to us, that apparently he communicated with Google, was that if you have symptoms that you think you might have coronavirus, you can go to this website. You can go through a step-by-step process where you can just check off the symptoms that you have, like, yeah, I have a runny nose, yeah, my chest feels pressure, like this, that, and the other, and it'll take you through a step-by-step process. And at the end, it was supposed to give you different options, like, if you didn't meet all of the symptoms, you should stay home and visit us back in like 20 minutes, or not 20 minutes, but like check the site back later and do the same thing again. Or maybe another one would be, yeah, you should go to the doctor, go to your PCP, or call them. Another one's like the teledoc feature that they're trying to roll out, or roll out further than they already rolled out before the virus. So, I mean, but Google did roll out that informational site that I showed you. I mean, it's out there. So possibly they rolled that out because it was already ready, and they're probably still working on that virtual testing aspect, like the ability for you to test yourself for coronavirus without having to take the actual test, for them to provide this service on Google where you can actually check all the check marks of what symptoms you have and which ones you don't have, and then the results it'll give you is, do you see a doctor? Do you stay home? Do you check back in 8 hours and take the test again and see what it says? Like, I'm sure they're still working on that, because the president didn't make that up. I mean, he didn't say there's 1,000 Google engineers working on this system where you can take a virtual test online, not an actual test, but to label your symptoms, and Google's supposed to come up with some system where it'll tell you what to do, given the symptoms that you claim you have. So, but the site that I showed you yesterday in the last video, there is going to be a significant more added to it, according to what the president said, in days past. As far as what this website is capable of doing, it's just not quite there yet. They just wanted to get it up as quickly as possible, and right now it's just an informational website. It's just showing you like the 5 things you should do to prevent getting coronavirus, like keep hands clean, stay 6 feet away, 10 people or less in a group, kind of thing. So moving on into other news, there were 7 Detroit cops that were tested positive for coronavirus. Almost 200 so far have been quarantined. So this is hitting the police force, people. So this is especially if you live in Detroit. I mean, any city, really, any major city. I mean, now is the best time to stay indoors. Just keep yourself safe, keep your family safe. You shouldn't be going out and about. I mean, criminals are going to read about this stuff. I mean, they're going to see that 200 Detroit cops are quarantined, and what do you think the criminal element's going to do? They're going to think, well, there's not that many cops out right now. I mean, there's 200 less than there were a week ago. So, we have a factor of whatever, there's less chance of getting caught doing whatever it is we're going to try to do. And then you get idiots in Philadelphia, whoever it was that put that into place, like where you can break into a car and not get arrested, or burglarize a home and not get arrested if it's between the hours of 4 p.m. and 12 a.m. It's insane. It's insane what's going on. I mean, that's why I'm very glad that I'm a proud firearms owner, because if stuff that crazy happens in my area, I mean, I could at least have immediate protection and not have to rely on my phone and the sheriffs to get to my house as soon as they can get there, because if they're bogged down and overwhelmed, you might not get a sheriff to your house for an hour. And if somebody's trying to use a crowbar to bust open your door, what are you going to do? Are you just going to hope and pray for an hour that he's not going to get that door open? No, of course not. That door's going to fly open within 2 or 3 minutes. And you got to have something. You got to have something. A phone's not going to kill anybody. So anyway, I don't know. It's just frustrating, man. It's really frustrating. It's just crazy. But that would explain why gun stores across the U.S. were emptied over the last week, and like the ammunition, which yeah, I did get my ammunition in the mail. That was pretty good. I got that on Friday, thank God. I had ammunition, but I didn't have any more ammunition for the most important firearm that I have, the one that I consider to be the most important, that is. So I got it. So I was very happy that it came in the mail. It took longer than it was supposed to, but I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful that the mail is running, period. And as everybody else has to be grateful, because people, I'm sure when you're trapped in your home all day, if you're casually shopping on Amazon, you're not going to be getting it. You're not going to be getting that stuff for a while. They're only going to be shipping stuff like medication, food, essential supplies. So if you're just fun shopping, you're not going to be getting that stuff anytime soon. So you might as well not even be spending the money. You might as well be saving it and just spending it on food or spending it on whatever resources you can possibly get. At the same time, minimizing your exposure to coronavirus whenever possible. All right, so this is awesome. Check this out. They are currently developing a rapid test of the coronavirus, which is planned to be rolled out by the end of this month. They're planning on it. They're not guaranteeing it, but they're hoping for this. And the test will confirm whether if you have coronavirus within hours, not within days. So they don't have to use complicated laboratory equipment to be able to find out if your test is positive or negative. But and now it's not going to be one of those roadside, like is this drug cocaine or is this drug methamphetamine? Like let's just like pop the capsules and oh my God, you got coronavirus. It's not going to be that easy, but they believe that they found a method in a much simpler kit where you don't have to have a bachelor's in chemistry crap. What am I thinking of? Like a medical technician in the laboratory, a laboratory technician in the hospital. You don't have to have those credentials to be able to run this test. Like this test is something that anybody can do if you just read the instructions. Now, you're not going to be able to buy this on the open market probably, at least not right away, but they're trying to get these tests that will be able to inform you within hours that you have coronavirus, not within 2 or 3 days, like what's currently going on. So hopefully that gets rolled out by the end of the month. That would be incredible because it's already the 22nd. So we're talking next week. So hopefully that will actually get rolled out. We'll have to see. But yeah, that was incredible news. And Secretary Ben Carson of Housing and Urban Development has suspended all foreclosures and evictions for 60 days, which is May 17th. If you listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, if you're a listener of Joe Rogan's podcast, he mentioned in I don't think it was his latest show, but it was certainly an episode he did in the last 2 or 3 days, because I listened to both of his most recent episodes as I was rearranging my workspace / bedroom area today. And he said, well, what are they going to do if they're not working and they can't pay their rent? I mean, they're going to get kicked out because, landlords, they have to collect their rent. I don't think that they're protected against that right now. So I had to mention that because if you listen to that or if you've heard that before, just be absolutely reassured by me, and you can use this link that I have right here. I mean, you can just plug this thing right in. I mean, it's a .gov website. You have to put in the backslashes and stuff, but this will take you directly to this order, and the order is for 60 days. So let me just show you here. It takes you directly to the article. Might take a sec. I don't know why it's taking so long. I know I just plugged it in, but come on, Chrome, don't fail me. There it is. Okay, so yeah, March 18th, 2020 was when it was put out. It's for a period of 60 days, for the next 60 days, to implement an immediate foreclosure and eviction moratorium for single-family homeowners with FHA-insured mortgages for the next 60 days. But evictions applies to me because I'm a renter. So anywhere in the United States, if you have to choose between food and your rent, choose your food, because you have to stay alive. All right. Don't worry about your rent if you're struggling to survive because you're starving. So I thought that was really good news. And that's out there. If you want to read some more about that, it's on that webpage there. And now I'm getting into the Trump speech, which just happened a couple of hours ago. So Trump approved for the city of New York a major disaster area, which was announced tonight. It will also approve California, which he quotes very quickly, maybe tonight. So he did verbally approve that California will be declared a major disaster area, and he says hopefully by the end of tonight they will have it officially declared. But he was just letting the American people know that this is happening. I have approved it verbally right now, but I haven't actually signed it yet. They're just preparing it for me to sign right now. Also, they said that more tons of equipment is being delivered right now to the states of Washington, California, New York, and other hard hit areas. And large quantities are being delivered to Washington and New York already, with more on the way. So, here's some numbers for you. So, if you live in New York City, in New York City, they are going to be delivering 4 large federal medical stations with 4,000 beds total. Each station will have 1,000 beds each, and that's going to New York City within the next 48 hours. And if you live in California, they are delivering 8 medical stations to California with 16,000 beds total, which each federal medical station will have 2,000 beds in each one of them, also being delivered within the next 48 hours. And for the state of Washington, 3 large medical stations and 4 small medical stations with 1,000 beds. And I assume I quoted that because that's exactly what Trump said word for word. So, with 1,000 beds, I don't know if that pertains to the large stations or the small ones. My gut tells me the large ones, just because that's how he phrased it for New York City. So with the small medical stations, I don't know what that means. I mean, my instant thought might be like 500 beds, but I don't know. Just don't quote me on that. That's just my honest thought. So there is help on the way for these 3 states that are the worst affected in the country. And this might be some relief to those who live in Los Angeles. The USNS Mercy, the naval hospital ship, is heading to your area. They didn't give an exact timeline when it's going to be there, but I'm sure it's probably either there now or it is going to be there extremely soon, probably within a day or two. So that is on the way. The other naval ships that they had mentioned had somewhere to the tune of 1,000 beds on board. But these ships are not going to be used for coronavirus patients. At least that's what they said about the other 2. They didn't mention that for this one. But the other 2, they mentioned they were going to use those for non-coronavirus patients, people who break their legs or they're in a car accident or their appendix bursts. I mentioned this in the other video. So these are trying to be used as hospitals for those who were not affected by coronavirus. And the National Guard is going to be heading to New York, and it will be 100% paid by the federal government. So there will not be a 25% cost to the governor or the state of New York. And they will be directed to act under Governor Cuomo's direction. So they're not going to be taking their orders from the president. They're going to be taking their orders from the governor. And they are going to be establishing, quote, alternate care sites. Or no, the National Guard is not going to be doing this. The Army Corps of Engineers are right now, they are establishing alternate care sites in the city of New York, and that will consist of 4 large medical stations of 1,000 beds each and 4,000 beds total. So New York City, you're getting your help. It's happening right now. So if you're nervous right now, if you're not sure what's going on, just rest assured it's all being established right now. So I don't know if you look out your window when you're out there and if you see the military just running around like crazy. I don't know how that's happening because I'm 1,500 miles away, give or take. But what I've been seeing is that there's a lot of help on the way, and the president just made this statement within the last couple of hours. So the stockpile that's being delivered, that has been delivered to New York City as of March 19th. Okay, so this was 3 days ago. 3 days ago, this was the numbers of supplies that were delivered to New York City as of 3 days ago. 186,416 N95 masks, 444,078 surgical masks, and more have been delivered since then. So between 319 and 322, all of these numbers I'm giving you are way higher than they were. The government is just giving you the numbers that they delivered as of 319 because that's what they had at the time that the press conference was given. Let's see, 84,560 face shields were delivered, 68,944 gowns, 352,000 coveralls, and 245,486 gloves. That's for the state, or that's for the city of New York, New York City. Now for Washington State, 369,095 N95 masks, 500,406 surgical masks, 63,788 face shields, 107,850 surgical gowns, 240,376 gloves. And the National Guard is heading out to California at no cost, just like in New York, no 25% reimbursed. And the press conference his speech continued, but it was getting close to 8 o'clock, so I had to cut it off. But that's as far as I got. I didn't get I don't think I got halfway through, honestly, but I was just trying to play catch up from being busy all day long. So anyway, yeah, just ignore that. That was the tabs that I established for these articles, and I'm going to show you real quick. Um, hence the let me see, this whole thing, like the 3, 4, 5, 6, like start at number 7. You know, good news, bad news, because I wanted to try to organize this with good news first and then bad news after. So honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to get through all this because uh, I'll try. I'll try. I'll get through the good news. All right, let's do that at least. I mean, this is not good news. This is bad news. 273,000. Oh my God, 273,000. Are you kidding me? All right, let me take a breath. 331,273 people have been confirmed to have coronavirus throughout the planet right now. Yesterday, there were 148 countries that were confirmed of having coronavirus. Right now, there is 171 countries that are confirmed of having coronavirus. And just to do a couple quick numbers, Italy, almost 60,000 people, 59,000 people have coronavirus that were tested for it. In the United Kingdom, 5,683. Over here in South Korea, 8,897. Let's see. In China, it's still the leader at 81,397. Italy has almost 60,000. The United States has 33,000, still in third at the moment. You know, God willing, hopefully we'll get our numbers down as soon as humanly possible. We'll see what happens. So that's where we're at right now. 97,000 people have recovered, which is an incredible number. So that's definitely good. That's awesome. Let's hope that green number just climbs rapidly. And the Dow Jones, that was from Friday. I didn't show it in the last couple of videos, so I thought I'd let you see where it was looking. You know, for the day, it showed signs of promise early on. 11:20 or about 11 o'clock in the morning, it was looking really good, and then it just kept going down and down. So not too good. You know, the 5-day number, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot of ups and downs. Yeah, ups and downs, roller coaster. So that's the Dow Jones. Now, this is the first good news. Doesn't pertain to the United States, but I thought it was good news nevertheless. The Russian army is sending hard-hit Italy coronavirus aid after a Putin phone call. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered his nation's army to deliver medical aid to Italy, the new epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic, after offering help during a Saturday phone call with the Italian Prime Minister GC. I'm just going to say GC. Preparations for the aid mission were underway Sunday at the Tchaikovsky military airport in Moscow. Russia was loading 9 colossal, is that 2? Colossal 2 or LL 76 cargo planes with 8 mobile medical teams, medical equipment, and aerosol disinfection trucks to send to Italy's hardest hit regions. Russia will also send 100 military members who specialize in virology and epidemics. Reuters reported. I think it's Reuters, citing the Interfax news agency. In photos released by Russian Defense Military Press Service, the doors of military trucks bore signs with heart-shaped Russian and Italian flags that read "From Russia with Love" in Russian, Italian, and English. That's so cool. Putin's offer came on the same day Italy recorded its biggest spike in deaths from the COVID-19 virus of nearly 800, taking the death toll to almost 5,000, the highest in the world, while the number of infections rose to 53,578. The exploding caseload has overwhelmed Italy's doctors and nurses and left medical equipment in short supply. So that's really cool. So Russia is lending a helping hand. They've been dealing with definitely a low amount of infected people in the country of Russia somehow. I didn't read into it. I just know that they're dealing with very few, especially for the size of their country. So they're in pretty good shape in comparison with many other places around the world. All right. Let's see here. Now, this is cool. Domino's, they're hiring 10,000 employees amid the coronavirus demand surge. Uh-oh. Let me mute my speakers here. So that's some good news, right? Domino's delivering, or will be hiring, not delivering. They're going to be hiring 10,000 employees to handle delivery demands amid the coronavirus crisis. The pizza company is looking for part and full-time delivery drivers, pizza cookers, customer service representatives, managers, and licensed truck drivers for its supply chain centers and stores. The need will vary at each store. Our corporate and franchise stores want to make sure they're not only feeding people, but also providing opportunity to those looking for work at this time, especially those in the heavily impacted restaurant industry, which is what the CEO said, who is Rich Allison. So I won't get any further into that, but that is some definite good news. Really good news. Domino's hiring 10,000 employees. That's awesome. It's awesome. Actually, I'm probably going to get Domino's tomorrow just learning this alone. It's pretty cool. And I'm a good tipper. So the WHO launches global mega trial of the 4 most promising coronavirus treatments, a drug combination already used against HIV, and a malaria treatment first tested during World War II. Also, a new antiviral whose promise against Ebola fizzled last year. That's only 3, but all right, we'll go with it. Could any of these drugs hold the key to saving COVID-19 patients from serious harm or death? On Friday, the World Health Organization announced a large global trial called Solidarity to find out if any can treat infections with the new coronavirus for the dangerous respiratory disease. It's an unprecedented effort, an all-out coordinated push to collect robust scientific data rapidly during a pandemic. The study, which could include many thousands of patients in dozens of countries, has been designed to be as simple as possible so that even hospitals overwhelmed by an onslaught of COVID-19 patients can participate. With around 15% of COVID-19 patients suffering from severe disease and hospitals being overwhelmed, treatments are desperately needed. So rather than coming in for compounds from scratch that may take years to develop and test, researchers and public health agencies are looking to repurpose drugs already approved for other diseases and known to be largely safe. They're also looking at unapproved drugs that have performed well in animal studies with the other 2 deadly coronaviruses, which cause severe acute respiratory syndrome, which is SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, which is MERS. So hopefully that's going to hopefully that'll turn out really well, because I mean, we're starting to get desperate at this point, and it's only been a week since the United States declared a national emergency. So I mean, if things are going to continue to escalate the way that they are right now, I mean, it's not going to be an ugly summer. It's going to be absolutely an apocalyptic summer for sure. Check this story out. This is so cool. I mean, I've got a daughter, so you know this really, it touches my heart for sure. An art teacher, she streams live classes to kids among the coronavirus crisis. An elementary art teacher is bringing creative fun to young students who are out of school during the coronavirus outbreak. She says, "I want to engage kids while they're sitting at home." And her name is Cassie Stevens, and she's a teacher at Johnson Elementary School in Franklin, Tennessee. And she told Good Morning America, "I want them to experience art for normalcy. We are all scared and we're all confused." Over 30,000 people, forget the extra zero, over 30,000 people tuned in Monday as Stevens demonstrated a robot art project for children via Instagram and Facebook Live. That might be 300,000 actually. Maybe you shouldn't forget the zero. That might be 300,000 people who tuned into this. Which would be absolutely insanely incredible. So Stevens, she's been teaching art for 21 years. When she learned Franklin Special School District would be closed until April 6th, she found a way to make art classes accessible virtually. Now this is apparently the classroom that she's in normally when she has a full class, which is like, that is a crazy colorful art class. I've never seen an art class that colorful, so she obviously loves what she's doing, which is really insanely awesome. And she's got a couple of pictures. I assume this might be taken from maybe one of her live streams. Very cool. Stevens is planning to go live every weekday until schools reopen from 11 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and Instagram. So, pretty awesome. She's digging the robots. That's pretty cool. That's like 1950s like robot movie stuff. That's pretty cool. You know, steampunkish kind of. I dig it. The current theme is robots. Okay, well, there you go. I guess I spoke too soon. But she plans on switching it up each week. Stevens also sent up an email account, sent up. I don't know. I would have said set up. Stevens also set up an email account so parents and children could send photos of finished work. Awesome. And she says, to finish off this article, my email is flooded with thank yous and kids holding up their artwork, and that means the world to me, Stephen said. So very cool. Getting tons of attention. Hope she goes crazy viral because, I mean, I seriously doubt she has any intentions on getting paid at all for doing this. Teachers, they're getting paid through this. They're getting paid by the taxpayer. So either way, she's just doing this just because she knows that by putting on this live stream, she can help a lot of kids out there who are going to be otherwise bored or buried in their phones or buried in the Xbox or the PlayStation or PC gaming or VR gaming or whatever it is that kids are going to be doing. So instead of doing all that, people can still hang on to their creativity, especially in the elementary age. So definitely super important. That was awesome. I was really glad to have found that. And with that, good grief, let me see how long I've been doing this for. Hour and 15 minutes. Should I do the doom and gloom news? I don't know if I want to do that. I've been so uplifted right now. Why do I want to, send that all crashing down into the negativity of the coronavirus? I'll keep it brief. How about that? So let me just crash through all these other ones here. So CDC statistics. No, here, never mind. I jumped the gun. Let's see what Fox 35 says here. Fox 35 Orlando. Oh, yeah, this is my neck of the woods. So positive coronavirus cases now are over 800. So it did cross the threshold. The death toll rises to 13, health officials say. Basically, that's all that there is to say, really. 62 people who caught it are non-Florida residents. With that spring break nightmare that broke out over the last week, that PR nightmare that our state had to deal with. It's under control now. The beaches are closed. At least in Pinellas County, we got our stuff under control here. I hope the rest of the state did, but they don't show Pinellas County. That's the county I live in. So if you live in any of these counties, here you go. Here are the numbers. So you can pause it and observe. And I'm going to move on to the next article right now. I'm gonna leave that up because it's very uplifting. It's awesome. All right, so let's go to the next one here. CDC graphics. I remember this. Okay, so I'm gonna skip through all the text here, but this is on CDC.gov, so this is legit. At least it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna go down here to the references. Okay, so this is the first figure that I'm gonna show you. The number of new coronavirus disease of 2019 cases reported daily. Now it started, in February. It was, extremely small, and then it started to ramp up and ramp up. So March, but you can kind of see somewhat of a roller coaster effect, right? So the 15th there was a spike, and then 16th kind of went down. I'm kind of disappointed they're only showing it up to the 16th. That kind of sucks. I mean, it's the 22nd. What the hell, CDC? Come on. But yeah, so that didn't help out too much, really. But I mean, I would assume maybe back on the 15th, there might have been like a surge in availability for coronavirus testing, maybe. Because we've kind of been, in that murky area where it comes to like how many people have been tested, how many people really have it, kind of thing. So, but this one was the one that I was kind of looking for that was way more relevant to what I wanted to show you. Coronavirus disease 2019 hospitalizations, intensive care unit admissions, and deaths by age group. Okay, now if you are a millennial, you will see this very quickly and notice that this doesn't only pertain to people who are 65 years and older. It certainly doesn't. You will see from ages 0 to 19, it affects very little, apparently. At least as far as how many they've tested. It's been it's been extremely low. But look at that, ages 20 to ages 44. When it comes to hospitalizations, it is almost on par or above par from everything except for those aged 65 to 74. So the number one age group who has been hospitalized for coronavirus, okay, this is from the CDC, okay, this is legit statistics. The number one age group that is being hospitalized right now, according to the CDC, from coronavirus is ages 65 to 74. And it looks like it's roughly, let's see, number of hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and deaths, 120. I'm not sure exactly if that's like a per number, but But that's the number one age group for hospitalizations, as well as ICU admissions. And as far as deaths, it looks like they are barely overtaken by over 85. But let's move on to the next highest bracket of those who are hospitalized for having coronavirus. Let's move way down to ages 20 to 44. Yes, you are hearing this correctly. According to the CDC, the second most common age group in the entire span of the human lifespan that contracts coronavirus and has to be hospitalized is ages 20 to 44. So you heard it. You know it. It's on cdc.gov. If you're watching this, the link is very simple to follow. And yeah, I mean, what else can I say? But let's see, 45 to 54 looks like their second or their third highest of all the age brackets. And then ages 55 to 64 are fourth highest in the brackets. 75, 84, and then after that it's 85 and over. So those idiot millennials that are out there that I keep talking about, how stupid that a lot of them that are complaining because the bars are closing. So they're like, well, what are we going to do now? Oh, well, I don't know. I guess we'll have a house party, or we'll have like a coronavirus party. We'll have our corona teenies and cheers and hug and have a great time. I mean, it's complete bull crap. But hopefully that is kind of a red flag that it's not just because you're under 44 years old or just because you're under 65 years old, really. That does not mean you are not going to end up being hospitalized, because right now, me, millennials, I'm 35 years old, so I'm right in the middle of this. Right now, we are sitting in the second highest hospitalization age bracket in the entire United States as far as coronavirus is concerned. So I hope that kind of lit a fire under your ass to some extent, because it really pisses me off that there are millennials that are not taking this seriously, and that includes people that I'm working with. It's just frustrating. They're just downplaying it so much. They're like, well, what are you gonna do this Friday? Well, I don't know. Everything's closed. Well, you can come over here and hang out. You got any friends you can bring over? It's been really boring over here. Are you freaking kidding me? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, good grief. All right, so let's go on to number 12 here. Coronavirus live updates. Medical aid for 3 states as U.S. death tolls hit 417. The stimulus checks hit a snag, and Senator Rand Paul tests positive. So let me just briefly check this. I don't know if I didn't highlight this. I'm just going to skip past this because I do have an update on Senator Rand Paul. I believe he did test positive for coronavirus. So in case I don't find it, he did test positive. There are a couple of politicians that he was in close contact with that are going to self-isolate. But yes, Senator Rand Paul has tested positive for coronavirus, so he's going to be isolating himself, which is, yeah, it's a shame. It really sucks because he was trying to keep up the fight with trying to limit the amount of reach that the government was trying to put into these $2 trillion spending bills. He was trying to aggressively prohibit these long-term spending measures that it seems that Democrats are trying to put out. The whole thing where it's like, well, $1,200 is not enough. Like, we should do more than that, but we should do it every month indefinitely because we don't know how long this is going to last. Well, that's a very fast, dark road into socialism really freaking quick. I mean, when it comes to this situation, when the government are making these measures that they're trying to send money to every household, we cannot be we cannot allow the government to pass any legislation that has an indefinite date attached to it. I mean, it has to be okay. So if they want to give everybody $1,200 per person, $2,400 for a married couple, $500 for each kid they might have, they should do it only for this month, okay? And if the coronavirus is still out of control, let's revisit it next month, okay? If everybody's in desperate need for another $1,200 next month, then let's revisit it then. But what it sounds like that Democrats are trying to do, and this is only from my perspective, it seems like what they're trying to do, and I'm pretty sure Rand Paul was trying to sound the alarm on this, was that they're trying to make it a more permanent basis. So they're trying to push in some of these left-wing policies and using coronavirus as a platform to get those things through, where in the normal political atmosphere, it would have never happened. But they're basically trying to put forward their agenda by using a national emergency, and that is like beyond dark and evil and scary and crazy. So anyway, let me just get out of this. Let me see if I can have a little bit more information regarding that. Oh yeah, here we go. GameStop. Check this out. I mean, clearly this is filed in the bad news section. GameStop closes all their retail stores after backlash amid coronavirus concerns. So what they're doing in-store pickup only. Here, let me see what little I think I only highlighted the first sentence. GameStop, the video game retailer, said Sunday that it would shift to online sales and curbside pickup orders only, and they are going to close all of their U.S. retail operations temporarily. So not entirely bad news, because you can actually show up curbside, get out of your car, and I'm sure somebody's going to be looking for cars pulling up, and they're probably going to open the door, unlock it, and open it, be like, "What's your name?" My name's John Smith. All right, just a minute. They close it, they lock it, root around in their freaking orders, and they find your order. All right, it's going to be $26.50. You're paying by card, right? All right, pay online. I'll throw it to you when it's completed. I don't know how they're doing it exactly. I'm just making that up, but still. But yeah, GameStop. You can't go browse in the store anymore. You got to go online. You got to find whatever it is you want to play. But dude, all eyes are on Doom right now, dude. But get Doom, right? I played the only Doom game that I played was back in the 90s. That game was insane. The graphics were crappy as hell compared to what it is now, but that game, I'm sure if I played it right now, I would still have an awesome time playing it, because that game was freaking wicked. The game was amazing. And I've seen the trailer for Doom, because I watched a Joe Rogan podcast sometime in the last week, and I think somebody who was working on Doom he had as a guest, and they went into it extensively. They even showed the trailer for it. It was insanely crazy looking. It was awesome. All right, GameStop closed. All right, let's move on to... No, I just clicked that. Move on to 14 here. Let's see here. Canned goods and non-perishables are selling out. Oh, see, this should have been a good news one. I'm sorry, I dropped the ball on this. Another Publix cart buggy, by the way. Let's see. So now, if you're running low on food, or if you don't have any canned goods, if you just didn't get out in time, if you didn't think it was going to get this bad, and now all of a sudden it is this bad for you, you can still buy this stuff online. Check this out. Canned vegetables. Now, you're going to pay a lot. Look at this. So if you want to get some, let's see, Giorgio pieces and stems mushrooms. I'm going to lower my mic here. I hope I don't disrupt this too much. I'm going to sit down in my seat here, because my legs are getting really tired. I've literally been on my feet since 8 o'clock this morning. Literally. I've not sat down yet today. All right. This isn't really working too well. Hopefully you can still hear okay, or I'm not too quiet. But all right. So yeah, you can read it for yourself. $25. You can get 12 4-ounce cans of that. I don't think anybody wants it, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Bruce's yams, cut sweet potatoes and syrup, 15 ounces at Target for $1.69. And this is all stuff you can buy online, by the way. I mean, I didn't click on every single link, but I clicked on 2 or 3. And the ones that I did click on, they led me to a page that showed the food item, and it said available online, will arrive within like a week, I think. And I'll click on at least one, so I'll show you what I'm talking about. But that was the one I clicked on. Get the Amy's Organic Chunky Tomato Bisque. And Walmart, let me just click on it here. It's not cheap, but it's here. If you have the money, $43.68. You get a pack of 12 of it. It's organic, so it's more expensive. So, when it comes to that cheap Aldi 50 cents a can vegetable stuff that I told you that I stocked up on, I mean, you're not going to find it. And trust me, I did not hoard. I'm not a hoarder. I mean, I used my closet, my room to pack this stuff away, and my closet is not full by any means. Like I said, I think between my mother and myself, I have 2 months. I have my daughter too, so whatever, and I only have my daughter 50% of the time, so that's going to take that 2 months and drop it down. So it's going to be more like a month and a half ish that we'll have enough food for. So we're eating into it right now. I think we're a week into it now. So but so all right, here you go. Look, sold and shipped by Walmart. Pickup is not available, but free delivery, and it arrives by Friday, April 10th. So that's very important. So this stuff, it is available to buy online, okay? It is available. But look, all right, it's not a week from now. It's April 10th. It's like 2 weeks from now. So this website is giving you a list of items you can get, but chances are you're not going to be getting it in 2 days. There is no 2-day guaranteed shipping anymore. That's a thing of the past right now. So whatever it is that you can find on this list that you have to buy, and look at this, it includes beans, soup, pasta, rice, mac and cheese. Chances are, like here you go, Kraft original flavor, just Kraft macaroni and cheese. There you go, giant box of it. It's going to cost you $12.47, and you can order it through Walmart. And if you buy it, it will arrive by Monday, March 30th. So it'll get there after next weekend. So you're not going to be getting anything in the next 2-3 days. So if you want to use this avenue to try to stock up on food, it's going to cost you more because you're probably going to pay for shipping. And you're going to have to wait longer for it to get to you, and you're going to have to buy bulk. It looks like. I mean, I could be wrong, but it looks like that this list that they laid out for somebody who's desperate to get their pantry restocked or get it stocked. I mean, if you're behind the 8 ball here, oh yeah, I can't go back. There you go. I mean, it looks like you're facing an uphill battle. So, the sooner the better. Do what you can. I mean, if you have to, take my advice, wear a long sleeve shirt, wear long pants, and go into a store and stock up on whatever you can find. Like hold your breath when you walk by somebody and exhale slowly just to get it out of your nose if they were exposed, and if they're carrying it. Bring the wet wipes with you. Every refrigerator door you open, freezer door, just use a sanitizing wipe to grab it with. Just be OCD extra careful. Believe me, you won't be the only one doing it. Trust me. And who cares? Who gives a crap if you're the only one doing it? You're protecting yourself. You got to worry about you right now, your family, your livelihood, because everybody else who's out there shopping, they don't care about you. They only care about them. So you got to care about yourself right now. And if you have any generosity left over, you can help your neighbors, help your community, do whatever you can to help other people if you possibly can, especially if you have a truck. All right, so that's the end of this one. Go ahead and move on. Did I go to ABC yet? No. Coronavirus pandemic. The United States faces cyber attacks. Let's see how far I am here. So the U.S. already dealing with the pandemic is also being targeted for cyber attacks and foreign disinformation campaigns, as federal officials have feared. Multiple sources confirmed to ABC News in recent days that both the efforts to slow computer systems at the HHS department Sunday night and the weekend rash of bogus text messages warning a national quarantine is imminent were the products of foreign actors or components of foreign governments or entities connected to them. We are seeking multiple disinformation campaigns right now, said one federal official briefed on the situation. The two types of cyber attacks are different, but both are aimed at sowing panic in the American population and feeding distrust in government, according to intelligence officials. Federal officials said the two most likely perpetrators are Russia and China, two nations with the sophistication, skill, and desire to carry out such campaigns against the United States. Let's see. When you're dealing with something like a denial of service attack on HHS during a pandemic, that is a very grave action for another country to take, Attorney General William Barr told the Associated Press Tuesday, confirming that an investigation is ongoing. So, if it is another country doing this, I'm sure the ramifications will be severe. There's William Barr, if you forgot what he looked like. More insidious was the attack that began last week in the New York City area and then broadened to Washington, D.C., Boston, Kansas, and the West Coast, where an entity infiltrated the cell phone MMS and SMS text messaging system to send out realistic-looking warnings about an impending shutdown of public and government services because of the coronavirus outbreak. So, yeah, that's happening. Definitely not good. So, if you get an emergency message on your cell phone, and if you have internet capabilities, jump on the internet and just Google search it. Just Google search your city name, maybe plug in your state, and just throw in the most vital keywords that the text message said, and I'm sure you'll get an instant result to see if it's legit or not. All right. Let's move on here to number 16. I really hope this is close enough to me. I don't know. Let me see if I can scoot this in closer. My legs are killing me. I'm really tired of standing up. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Harvey Weinstein. Okay, I think this is fake news. Okay, and I will show you here in a minute. But I believe this is complete fake news. This stupid bastard who pretends to be on a walker. Look at him. Like, does he really have back problems? Of course he doesn't. And if you've seen those videos of him walking out of the courtroom with this stupid walker with the dumb tennis balls in the front of it, this dude is walking like 2 miles an hour. Like, who on a walker is walking like, I don't know, even a half a mile an hour? This dude is walking at full brisk pace to his freaking limousine after he's done with his court hearing, just beelining for it, going full speed. You know, he probably walked faster than I could walk. I don't know, whatever. But I just think he's full of garbage. But anyway, the disgraced mogul who is serving a 23-year sentence, thank God, after being convicted of rape, is said to be in isolation at this time for his safety and the safety of other inmates. Officials at Windy Correctional Facility said that 2 inmates had tested positive, reports the Niagara Gazette. Weinstein had just arrived at the Windy from Rikers Island, where there is currently a coronavirus outbreak. It has been reported that 21 inmates and another 17 workers at Rikers have tested positive for COVID-19. The prison is now monitoring 58 inmates. That thing is going to go full-on nuclear as far as coronavirus outbreaks, because if one person in prison has it, they're all going to get it. It's just like a cruise ship. Rikers had just 1 confirmed positive result on Wednesday at the prison before the number exploded in just 2 days. Now, this is where I just cut off completely and was like, yeah, this is complete fake news. A spokesperson for Weinstein told The Sun on Sunday afternoon that he had not been informed of a positive test result. And there you go. That's the bombshell. That's the point of this entire nonsense article. Because it's not just The Sun who reported this. There was a bunch of other, and I'm not calling them full-on fake news, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of other reports out there from people who I would commonly refer to as fake news that reported verbatim the same article. And you know, I tried to get this thing confirmed with at least another article, and the other one, like, I got down to this point and I was like, oh my God, whatever. He doesn't have coronavirus, whatever. Because it's not been confirmed. Look at this. Felon is sick. Harvey Weinstein tests positive for coronavirus after outbreak at Rikers. Harvey Weinstein tests positive. A spokesman for Weinstein told The Sun that he was not informed of a positive test result. What the hell here? What is going on? It's fake news. That's my first gut instinct. So anyway, let me get through this stupid garbage. You know, screw Harvey Weinstein. I'd like to use much worse language. And believe me, I use plenty of it, but I'm restraining myself very, very difficultly. Difficultly, that's not a word, is it? Yeah. Anyway, let me just move on. Rand Paul tests positive, so we already got through that. So, you know, the gist of it, he tested positive. He's quarantining himself. There's a couple of other people I think they named in this article that may have had contact with them, and they're going to quarantine themselves. And that's about it. It's about the gist of that article, so I can just skip through that one. Let's see here. Heading over to what I think is the last one. Yeah, this is the last article. So, coronavirus questions answered. Does the virus stick to clothing? Now, Fox News medical contributor Dr. Nicole Safier answered your questions about the coronavirus pandemic on Fox and Friends Weekend on Sunday. Now, this is the question. Do we know how well this virus adheres to clothing? Should we wash our clothes upon arriving at home? In response, Safier noted that one study shows that there are viable virus particles on cardboard about 24 hours after being put there by someone else. I had to pause because I saw cardboard. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not clothes. So, yeah. So they're saying that there are virus particles that are still active on cardboard if they were placed on cardboard around 24 hours after they were put there. Quote, we don't have data that people are actually being infected by touching inanimate objects that potentially have the virus on them, but let's just be safe, she said. Quote, what I've been doing is when we've had to go out, as soon as we come into the house, we're taking off the clothes, we're putting them in dirty clothes baskets, washing them right away, and I'm taking a shower, she said. That may be overly cautious, but she reasoned. Why not do it right now? If we are all in this together, the best case scenario is it is probably all overkill, but let's do it for now. And with that, I think I will leave you. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I mean, there's more to it, but there's more questions. So that was the end of the primary um, article that I was looking for. But yeah, I mean, basically the exact same thing that I said that I did when I went to Ace Hardware. I was just, I was just trying to use my common sense. If I'm going to go into a place, a public place, if I have to go, and I was really reluctant to do this, but it's either get a fire extinguisher or I cannot work from home, which means I can't work if they close my building, period. So I had to take the risk. I had to go get a fire extinguisher because I have to keep getting that paycheck if all possible. So, um, yeah, the best thing you can do to avoid all that nonsense, stay home. Stay at home. I hope you have a lot of frozen meat in your freezer, your chicken nuggets. I mean, if you got something that's got some freezer burn on it that's been sitting back in the back of your fridge frozen like a block of ice for 6 months, might not taste the best, but it's not going to kill you. It's better than going out into a public place and contracting something that could kill you. Could most definitely, not most definitely, but something that could very well kill you. Um, yeah, just stay at home, people. I mean, it is going to keep getting worse. I would say that if I mean, this is honestly my own personal opinion from what I've been reading every day, and trust me, I've been studying this stuff as best as I can. And I'm not a journalist, I'm not a professional in this field in any way, shape, or form. I'm just just doing what common sense tells me to do. But if okay, so if it were me, I'm gonna lift this mic here one more time just to get back on my feet because I'm in a very awkward position trying to lean into this mic. It's already hurting my herniated back. But if it were me and if I only had a week's worth of supplies to go, like let's say that I've counted all the calories and what little food I have left, and I'm rationing, and at maximum I have 7 days to go. Honestly, I would go as soon as possible. If you have less than a week's worth of food that you think you could survive off of, I would probably go tomorrow, and I actually am going tomorrow. At least I'm planning on it because my mother she needs allergy medication, so I have to go and hopefully there is some there. I mean, I'm taking the risk of going there, and maybe there isn't any, but while I'm there, I might as well I don't want to use the word collateral damage because I'm trying to think of the opposite of that, but while I'm there getting that, I might as well grab a few other things if I'm exposing myself to the public. So it's going to be a very, very quick grab and go kind of situation. I'm not going to be casually shopping at all, you know. But yeah, so I mean, if you got a limited stockpile, the sooner the better. If you can sit through, it looks like for a few weeks, although I really can't even give you a number for that. Honestly, the amount that I have stocked away, um, that might keep me safe for hopefully a couple of months. If I ration it enough, and I'll probably end up losing 10 pounds that I don't need to lose, maybe even more. But but yeah, I mean, I'm even kind of nervous. I'm kind of thinking about just going out there and see what else I can load up on. But they're saying don't stock up more than 2 weeks. Don't stock up more than a month because they're considering that hoarding now. So they're painting you as a negative person for doing that, which I think is kind of sad because the stockpile that I got in February. I got before anybody was nervous about this. So, if you're like me and if you did that back in February, if you got, you know, 10 gallons of or 10 10 jugs of water when you went out there in February, good for you. I mean, you shouldn't be labeled a bad person for doing that because at least in Florida, at least in Tampa Bay, when I was shopping here, nobody cared. They didn't care. They were buying grapes and strawberries and stuff that expires in like 4 days. I mean, they were just shopping for just the normal whatever, produce, and just, carts were, like not even not even a sixth of the way full. Just people just getting their typical weekly grocery, their grocery lists and things like that. So, I mean, I don't know. The time that I stocked up was the time where I felt like that I was the only one with this information, and oh my God, the world's going to end in about a month from now, and I'm the only one that knows about it. But if I start to tell everybody the world's going to end, it's going to be pandemonium. So I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'm going to pretend to be an honest shopper, but the person who's behind the counter who's ringing up my groceries are going to be like, "What the hell do you have 15 gallons of water for?" And like $30 worth of cans vegetables, vegetables. Okay. And you got like 2 boxes of flour and like what the hell is going on here? But no, I mean, and I was questioning about the water. That was kind of funny. They were like, "Wow, 16 gallons of water. That's a lot of water." That's what she said to me. Like, yeah, I'm just getting a head start. I think that's really what I said, like a head start, or I was like, yeah, I'm just stocking up or whatever. Like, I need water, whatever. I didn't indicate anything about coronavirus, but I don't know. I mean, I didn't run to the store in the last few days and gobble up everything that I could get my hands on like any other jerk out there would probably do if they didn't properly stock up. So, if you stocked up back in February or before this thing got out of hand, well, good for you. And you should not feel the least bit bad for doing so. You should definitely take care of yourself and your family and do the best thing that you can do. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this. I mean, it's getting on close to 10. I have spaghetti sauce in the fridge right now with ground beef soaking. It's going to be good. I don't know. For lunch today, I had ramen noodles. I had chicken ramen noodles. I have 48 packs of ramen noodles. So I figured, might as well start to dip into that supply. I mean, at first, when I first bought it last month, I was thinking, okay, well, if it's dire straits, I guess we can hit up the ramen noodles. I mean, if things get bad. But then I realized after I read one of the packages, like, holy crap, this thing has 320 calories. Well, yeah, obviously, yeah, okay, yeah, I guess it does because it's a lot of it's carbs. But 15 cents, 15 cents per ramen noodles bag because I paid $2 for a 12 pack at Aldi, just incredibly cheap. So I'm thinking, well, I mean, I might as well eat it now while I'm not sick to death of it. Maybe I can, eat ramen today and then maybe 3 days later I can go for another ramen and kind of mix up my stuff in between. So I haven't gotten crazy enough to the point where I'm like actually um, inventorying what meal that I have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not at that point, but I probably should be. But yeah, by the end of the week I will be for sure because I'm still burning through the stuff in the fridge. The eggs and the ground beef and stuff like that, like whatever's not frozen. We're still going through that stuff, so I'm still having relatively normal meals. But this time next week, it might be. I think I'm gonna be largely hitting up the closet. I'm gonna start having to dip into some of the canned goods and the box foods and the potato flakes, and for breakfast the just add water pancake mix and things like that. So and see how long we can see how long we can hold it off for until hopefully the numbers start curving down from coronavirus. And if not, I've got a couple of boxes of flour. I think I got maybe 6-7 pounds of flour. Maybe make some flour cakes with water. Hopefully it doesn't get that bad, but still, two big, those big tubs of oatmeal, those Quaker 60-second instant oatmeal. You can also get the old-fashioned rolled nuts or rolled oats oatmeal. I got a couple of those, like the big containers that has like, I don't know, something around 30 servings per container or something like that. So I don't know. I mean, if I have to dip into this stuff for too long, it's gonna get really old really fast. But it's better than not having anything. So, but anyway, yeah. Definitely look online. You're going to have to wait a couple of weeks. It looks like, according to Walmart.com at least. I don't know about Target or maybe Amazon, because I know Amazon's still shipping out food because they consider that to be an essential. So if you're looking for food and if you're paranoid about going out and getting exposed, just, you know, do what I did. Bring hand sanitizer, bring hand wipes, open everything with hand wipes, grab everything off the shelf with with sanitizer wipes. Keep a small bottle of hand sanitizer in your pocket. And when I went out to my car just to disinfect myself before I got in the car, I turned all my clothes inside out because I had another pair of clothes underneath. I had shorts and a tank top underneath that, so I just I rolled everything off and threw it in that bag and tied it up. Sprayed my shoes with aerosol disinfectant spray. I don't know if it worked. That's all I had. So, um, but yeah. Anyway, I'll go ahead and cut it there. I don't want to prolong this anymore. I know it's getting late, and I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning. Good God, it's already almost 10 o'clock. Holy cow! Maybe I'll finish watching. Crap. What was that movie? Inception. I first put it up here on the computer. I got it. Oh crap! Week or two ago, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and I haven't finished it. I've seen it many times. I mean, I understand it fully. It's an awesome movie, but it's been a very long time since I've seen it. I got halfway through it and got late before I started doing these recordings, and I started to be a little more proactive. But anyway, if you're still listening, I apologize. I ramble too much, especially when it gets later at night. But anyway, if you have any questions, you have any concerns, if you've seen any articles that I've not pointed out that are important, that you think that are important even, or even if you just think that it's worth talking about, definitely hit up the comments below. I read all the comments. Occasionally I might be a day late. Just depends on how tough work is. It depends on what I'm doing when I get off work. Sometimes things happen. Like tomorrow, for instance, I plan on doing my really, really quick grocery shopping run. So I'm going to spend probably more time preparing for that, getting the clothes ready and all that stuff. Setting up the grocery or the trash bag in my trunk, opening it up, setting up everything, getting the sanitizer, getting the aerosol spray, getting all that stuff ready. So tomorrow I probably won't be reading comments because in addition to running to the grocery store, I'm going to also have to try to push out another one of these videos. But there might be a chance if coronavirus starts to slow down, I might start doing a video every other day. The only reason I've been doing one every day is because the news has just been so insanely compact. With every state has something going on, every country has something going on. There's just too much going on in the news for me to take one day off of this. So it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon before there's not enough to talk about in one day where I would have to just do it every other day. But maybe if I get too busy doing something else, or if anything comes up, if I go a day or two without posting a video, that doesn't mean that I'm done. I mean, I'll definitely at least post a video to inform you that I'm done. Or if something comes up to where I can't be doing these, I'll definitely post a brief video to inform anybody who might be listening to these. But otherwise, hopefully I will be putting one out tomorrow. And stay safe out there. Stay extra clean. Definitely keep your distance, 6 feet at a minimum. Don't go out in public at all. Stay home. Stay home. Stay home. Do anything you can. Play video games. If you have VR goggles, get lost in the virtual world. Watch movies. Catch up on old movies. I mean, I love silent films. 1920s movies are awesome. Definitely awesome. Let me see. Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. There you go. Look that one up. From 1927. Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. Look at that one. If you like romantic films, that one will put you in tears for sure. Anyway, until next time, thank you so much for listening, and stay extra careful out there.